Hi, I'm Stephanie Strange. Want to hear something scary? 1212 South Korean horror story. Education and good grades were paramount in South Korea, and teens often went back to school after supper to get ahead with their studies. With the rest of the school dark and quiet, the library was well lit and filled with exhausted teens. Soon-Hai told her study partner Ara she was going to take a quick bathroom break. A few minutes after she left the room, Ara and the others heard a light tapping noise. It sounded as if it was coming from the hallway. It began to get louder and faster. Ara figured that Soon-Hai got locked out of the study room and was trying to get back inside. As she headed to the door, she realized that the tapping was actually coming from the window. She pulled the curtain back and revealed a tall, gaunt woman. She was ghostly pale with her eyes closed tight, long, stringy black hair, and standing perfectly still. This was a creepy woman, and she was no student. And Ara wondered what she was doing out in the cold. Suddenly, the woman flew forward and pressed her face against the window. Her eyes flipped open, but the sockets were empty. Gaping holes where eyes should have been. Ara quickly backed away from the window, but with one fast jab, the woman shattered the glass with her bony finger. And just like that, the lights went out. Soon-Hai was in the middle of washing her hands in the bathroom when suddenly she was plunged into complete darkness. She involuntarily gasped and then laughed for being scared. She pulled out her cell to light her way into the hallway. Her heart began to beat faster when she realized the lights were out in the corridor as well. As she carefully edged her way back to the library, the sounds of loud screams echoed into the halls. Then they stopped abruptly. Soon-Hai swung open the door and stared at the carnage that lay before her. The corpses of her friends were scattered throughout the library. Some strewn over the balcony, one laying through the shattered window. And her poor friend Ara was impaled through the leg of a turned-over table. Soon-Hai didn't have a second to think before she heard footsteps behind her. She threw herself to the ground and laid motionless, pretending to be dead among the other bodies. She held her breath as she heard movement all around her. She tried not to make a sound. A voice whispered, 1, 2, 1, 2. Curiosity got the better of her, and Soon-Hai peeked at whatever it was. She saw a terrifying ghostly image, a woman dressed in white, long dark hair covering her face. Soon-Hai squeezed her eyes shut, desperately fighting the urge to scream. The woman crept closer and still whispering, 1, 2, 1, 2. Soon-Hai held her breath, hoping it would not notice her. 1, 2, 1, 2. But it was no use. It was coming closer. 1, 2, 1, 2. Abruptly, the counting stopped. Suspicious of the silence, she tried to listen for even the slightest noise. Soon-Hai waited several minutes, but it felt like hours. She must have tricked it. She lifted her head and opened her eyes. Ah! The ghostly creature hovered directly above her. One bony finger pointed directly at her horrid face. 1, 2, it hissed, as it plucked out each of her eyes.